Hello, my name is Shelley and welcome back for another episode of EU4 as Jerusalem. In previous episode we managed to reach the Caspian Sea, taking a bit of land there. We also took a decent bit of land from Ethiopia during the last episode, I'm pretty sure. But right now, I think the next goal for us is to try to vassalize Circassia. We got a relatively good relation with them, could be better admittedly, but it's decent enough. We are only a few points away from being able to vassalize them, so I think what we're going to do is we could influence them for sure, but actually, before we do that, we're going to increase their trust with us as much as we can, which is getting us to 90 trust. That probably won't be quite enough to... Actually, it would be enough for... There we go. Right, so now we just need to wait for the month to go over. Oh, Russians are causing troubles again. We also... All the manufacturers... started spawning in. We haven't got any quite yet, and we'll probably need a lot of money, probably somewhere around 5,000 ducats right now. Of course, it's going to go down for every province that we actually get that stuff in. We get an army over there, and we can start doing a bit more conversions, I suppose. We do also need to do a bit more coring, but I suppose we've started the conversions in most of those already, so it'll be fine. There we go, Gondor's being converted. Actually, that reminds me, Gondor is one of these places where we wanted to turn into a trade company, wasn't it? Now that it's been converted and all that, that will reduce the unrest there, and then we could actually upgrade this to level 2. Was there any other... Well, Soba is another one that we could probably upgrade to level 2. Oh, it doesn't have the development for it. Right, okay. Well, this could actually be assigned to the trade company as well. It's been converted already. And this one could be assigned to the trade company. So the Abyssinia trade company that we have right now is pretty strong. And it does give us a decent bit of transfer or trade power through here. So there's actually only 1.7 ducats left behind in Ethiopia itself. We're pulling 12 ducats to Alexandria. And then from there it's most of it, like about 75% or so, is going up to Constantinople. And we're getting pretty good money out of that. But can we now... Actually, I suppose another thing that we need to do is we need to improve our relations with them. So now we can influence the nation. That costs us a little bit, but that gets a little bit closer on being able to... Oh, Counter-Reformation ends. It's time to move on, I suppose, then. So now we need another... I suppose if we give them a gift, that would get us close enough. There we go. So now we just need to wait another month, and then we can vassalize Circassia. Well, we got a bit of roll over there. That'll be taken care of quite quickly, though, so I don't need to worry about that one. There we go. It's already done. Now, can we... Oh, there we go. Let's vassalize. They're no longer a tributary to Russia. And now what we can do, especially against Karaköyünlü, is we can give these provinces to Circassia, because they've actually got cores on all three of these. So that's areas that we don't need to core, necessarily. Go ahead and get a little bit more coring going in the meanwhile. So we do not have a truce with Ajam or Mamluks right now. So we could pretend... Well, they are allied to one another. They are also fighting against Portugal. And Portugal is seizing down Somalia by the looks of it. So that could be a bit of a problem down there. Is this one... You are allied to Mamluks. What about if we do a war against Ajam? Who would join then? Quite a few nations. It would still be a decent bit of troops, not a massive amount of troops necessarily. And speaking of troops, we are actually going to go ahead and separate the two cavalry from here. We'll get 2 cannons instead. And then we'll start building another army from this. I think we're just going to send this to Jerusalem for now. So we can turn that into another 20,000 men army. A little bit surely. Something like 14 infantry, 2 cavalry and 14 cannons or something like that. We're also getting some of the Star Force now, so that's quite nice. Got a bit more separate... Ooh, there we go. Manufacturers have appeared in Jerusalem. So can we... No, we've only got 2.6% right now. But at least it's going to start spreading from there a bit faster. So that will definitely give a bit of a hand in there. Most of the other areas aren't quite as advanced. I mean, Cairo is already 45%. Actually, we could just go ahead and put in the institution spread in there. It will cost us a bit more. But we've got a fairly decent income, so I'm not too worried about that one, to be fair. So this should be built up fairly shortly. Once this army arrives in Jerusalem... Oh, Grand Ball in Jerusalem. We can spend a lot of money for prestige, or we can lose a bit of prestige. We'll just lose the prestige because we are already at full, so gaining more doesn't really benefit us. There we go, there's a bit more conversions done, so we can start coring those provinces. So, before we do a war... Ooh, Ankara is a seat of a new cardinal. There we go. Before we go to war, I want to make sure that we get the coring at least started on all of it. So that during the war, depending on who we're fighting, they will be completed. Oh, we need one more month now, we can start coring that one. Also, Circassi, I think it's time for us to improve relations with you. To the max. There we go. Now we got enough splendor to purchase an ability again. I suppose fort maintenance, it's not the worst. It's not necessarily the best either, to be fair. We're going to go with the harsh treatment cost minus 50%. We might end up doing that a bit more. So yeah, the manufactories hasn't really spread too much yet. I think what I might do is I might just go ahead and build a few more manufactories instead. At least 2 more. And then of course this one needed to be built up into a proper army, so... It'll be 10 to 8 for now, so that'll be 20,000 men total. And at least the amount of artillery we have will be slightly better. Oh dear, we lost another general. From here, by the looks of it. And we get 1420. It's not the worst. I mean, the 4 shock is still pretty decent. We have quite a bit of papal points again. We could maybe... I'm gonna get the improved relations boost there for now. That'll get the relations with Circassia to be a bit higher sooner. Karagayonlu wants to go through my lands. We got truce with them for a while, so you know what? I will allow it for now. Oh, it seems like there's some... No, that's Cuban troops, actually. That's not Portugal's, that's Spain's vessels. But yeah, Somalia is getting sieged down quite a bit there. So we may need to fight the Portuguese on multiple fronts once we do fight them. Trent is fighting Poland, France, Tuscany, and French colonies. Okay... So who are you? Luxembourg, Palatinate, Dortmund, Geneva, Trent, Kallenberg, and Regensburg. Right, okay, that's quite a bit in there. Augsburg's been annexed. But there we go, our army in Jerusalem is building up now. Not necessarily going to hire another general for it quite yet. We could, technically speaking, have another leader. Oh, Moravia is fighting Denmark, Brandenburg, Hamburg, Hesse, okay, so it's a lot of... sure. So who is Denmark fighting? Holstein, Sweden, Moravia, Rügen, and Ruppen. Denmark is going to be on the leading or winning side on that one. Oh, we've got another revolt to put down in Ethiopia. So is this one? It's not actually putting down any rebellions yet. So let's just go ahead and give it a few tasks here. It'll probably pacify the area at least to some degree. And of course, we've got the Marines in here that could do a little bit of rebel suppression there. Getting the extra army over there in Jerusalem. This one is not really needed too much right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and send this to... probably the Mosul, actually. The next war that we do is probably going to send Ajam or Mamluks, one or the other, because we don't have a truce with either one. And that way we can then get... Actually, that reminds me though, does Ajam... No, Ajam does not have cores in here. It's been Karakayunlu on those. So we could do a war against them without a problem. Oh. Alright then. So Timur's are having a bit of issues. Oh. Flourishing Chelsemite settlement. Chelsemite settlers are thriving in Turkin. They have established a small yet influential community, living largely a part of the Beha locals in part of Turkin. One might almost imagine they were walking the streets of Jerusalem. Chelsemite architecture and institutions dominate their closer districts. Representatives of the Jerusalem community in Turkey are seeking investment to further develop the province. School, hospital, and places of worship are needed to accommodate the settlers. Yeah, we'll get a free church in there, sure. So over here we get another free church. Unsuitable recruits. Okay, that's 31,000 manpower cast away. But, you know, I suppose we can afford it. So what do we have? We got 90,000 men on the front lines, plus another 20,000 over there, and I suppose this one, could be sent down south to keep some of the rebellions down. Although I don't suppose there's actually quite a bit of unrest still, including some Ethiopian separatists. Oh right, we're still converting culture in Constantinople back to Greek. Nobility is losing a bit of power. That actually reminds me, how are the estates faring? If we some of the diet, we could then go ahead and claim some more land. University in Tunis, I mean, that's not too bad. Number of allies at least 3. Or sub, trade company size at least 10. I think we're going to go with the closures thing. And then we can seize a bit more land. And then let's just go ahead and get that university going. It'll be done fairly quickly, and it's quite a good location for it anyway. I suppose this could actually help a little bit with the sieging down of Mamluks. Now the question is, of course, if I start sieging down a lot of stuff in here, I mean, maybe if I do a quick war against Mamluks, siege down all of these coastline provinces in here. They don't really have fortifications in here. Well, they got one in Sada. Right, that could be a problem. Unless we send this one in. In which case, maybe we should send this one down south to keep the rebellions down. It doesn't need to have a general to do that. Get this one to siege down. Basically, I just want to deny Portuguese any of this coastline here. They got a claim on Zabid right now. We can't allow that. We'll get the troops in position, so we'll have 4 armies plus this one in the rear. Or kind of in the reserve for now. Once those are in position, we can do the war. Oh, Gondra is having a bit of a revolt there. You know what? Let's turn around. Let's clear out that over first. Looks like the Portuguese are actually pushing through here. Although they can't push... Right, they're going to Somalia right now. Fair enough. Oh, Silly is the Empire. Oh, wow. Oh, that's rather silly. There is a lot of land from the Empire being occupied, so they only managed to get the first reform done. I don't think they'll be able to get any further. There's not a lot of Catholic nations in the Empire now either. Right, this should be enough to clear out the rebellion. There we go. I suspect that what I should do is just give you orders to keep the areas over here clear. Probably all the way up to there. I don't suppose that's... No, it's probably not going to start moving in here. So we'll just de-siege this. We'll get the troops into the crossing of Tajura. And then we'll be pretty much ready to start fighting the Mamluks, I reckon. I do actually wonder, so if we declare war in here, who's going to be... Somalia is not going to be joining in, actually. Ajam is, but yeah, it's actually a lot weaker now. We'll have Circassia helping us, not necessarily much, mind you. Do we... Oh, we do have room for another alliance, actually. Who should we ally? Or can we maybe vassalize someone? Mara, maybe? Munich? Not necessarily what we're looking for. What about alliances? Milan, arrive Switzerland? Malacca? I could even ally Timurids. Oh, wow. I mean, that would pacify the East a little bit. Alternatively, I could try to ally Poland. Help them to... Or at least have an ally in there to fight against Austria at some point. It could help. Or we could try getting another vassal at some point in the not too distant future. You know what, we'll leave that alliance or diplomacy slot open for now. We're not really in that bad of a situation. But the troops are in position, so it's time to declare war on actually, before we declare war on Mamluks, let's go ahead and get a new admiral in here. Okay, 4232. Not the worst. So we can send this out to catch the enemy fleet here. And then Mamluks, I think it's time for you to quiver as we start fighting. Clear out that. I'm guessing, yeah, we can start pushing towards Ajam now. Let's extend your duties to put out rebellions all the way in here. It's not necessarily the best location that we're working from. But I think it'll work for now. So 60,000 men against Ajam, and 60,000 men against Mamluks. I think that'll probably be sufficient. We'll need to make sure to actually clear out the... Oh! Chocolate imports. There's one unrest. Manpower recovery speed goes up. Sure, actually, I will take that. Okay, the fleet should be arriving shortly. We won in Jeddah. Let's go ahead and siege down the enemy capital with one army. We're lost with the trade fleet. We didn't actually lose any ships there. And now we capture another 2 light ships from the enemy. Right, I guess it's time to... Oh, and we caught another 2 ships. Let's get across the strait. Siege down as much of this as we can. Oh, come on, stop interfering. We need to get there before the Portuguese do. A quest for religious freedom. Either Bosnia gets or loses base production. We get some prestige and devotion. Or Portugal gets more loyalty. Oh, no. We will afford losing a bit of prestige. All the base production there. You know, losing development is never great, of course, but it'll do for now. Let's spread out these a little bit. And we should be able to get the siege down over here fairly soon. Oh, didn't realize there's a small army there. Let's go ahead and deal with that. There's a small army over there, and we've gotten into Ajam already. We haven't actually sieged down anything, admittedly, but we'll get that sorted out soon enough. There we go. That's one small stack wipe in here. Now, admittedly, since we do have the war score demand for getting the ticking wall, or the war score from battles to get a ticking war score with the superiority Casabelli, we do need to do quite a bit to get all of this sorted. But if we can take... Ooh. Hello. Somalia's actually beating down a Portuguese army here. It's a small army, mind you. That's always good to see. Oh dear, we lost Albertus. Is Albertus sieging anything? No, he was the... Oh, right, he was the leader of the Marines. Right, okay. 1441. Well, at least it's symmetric. Not quite as good, necessarily. So how much troops does Ajam have? Oh, they got over 50,000 men total, so they got about half their armies in here right now. I'm thinking of maybe sending this one back west to chase after that army. I mean, it can probably try sieging down for a while here. Won the siege in Arbil in the meanwhile. Get into the mountains, start sieging down a bit more. So they have got onto the fort in here, but again, it'll keep them busy. Oh, that's another army. Okay, well, we can get the Marines probably to help with this, maybe. Oh, there we go. We got the university built. Excellent. We get a bit of extra points from that. We're actually pretty high on middle points right now. So much so that we could even get the line infantry on, well, the tech unlock soon. But it is quite expensive, so we're not going to do that. What we are going to do instead is we're going to put in a bit more in development. So I'll be back in a moment. There we go. So that should be giving us a decent bit extra boost on numbers. So we'll have... Oh, there we go. One siege done. We'll get to the fort in Sada. Oh, actually, we could go to Jahan first. So we can make sure that we control all of the coastline there. Shasha is wanting to go through my lands. Are you fighting someone? No, you just want to go through my lands. I mean, sure, I suppose. Maybe they have troops kind of stuck somewhere. It wouldn't be the first time. Oh, there we go. Circassia is helping siege down things. Very nice. Okay, so this army is trying to move away. We'll try to engage it somewhere here in the south. I'm pretty sure that our troops are higher quality. And that should be quite easy to catch them somewhere in combat. Right, I believe they've got troops in Karbala. I don't know which way they're going right now. They might be actually just waiting there. Which, if that is the case... There we go, we siege down the coast. Let's move in further. In which case we can combine these two armies and start sieging down Hadramut. And so that army's gone back to the fort. Right, we're going to find them in Tikrit. We'll probably get the crossing penalty. I'm sending a second army in there to just annihilate their troops. Well, it was a pretty good battle regardless already. Hey, we're trading incense. Good. Currently gathering a bit of cash to embrace the institution. I'm pretty sure that it's... Oh yeah, it's 5,000 right now. It's a bit expensive. It's already spread quite nicely into our capital region here. I'm just going to go ahead and... We're going to put local development costs. Or just... You know, I'm going to put the local manpower modifier in here. Should be giving us quite a bit of manpower in there. Now we've got two armies heading over here. We should be able to catch that army quite easily. We'll have such a massive firepower advantage in there that it's... these troops are not going to be much left behind afterwards. There we go. We took a bit more infantry casualties, but they took a lot more everything else. Hey, Taz is a cannoneer. Excellent. Well, speaking of which, Taz can start pushing down there. I suppose we'll have both of these armies go down here and start heading towards Kazvin. We could also get the church levy tax now. That would be quite handy. Go ahead and group up these. Oh, they've got a bit of troops in here. I suppose, actually, let's go ahead and send in Spokamania down south to clear out some of these enemies. Combine that army. Oh, and there we go. That's a few corps done. We should be able to start quite a few conversions now. Only 4. Oh, we've lost some of them now. Oh. Right, Counter-Reformation gave me one, didn't it? And then we had one more from something else, I reckon, which has now expired. Probably some mission or something. Oh well. No, we still got 4 missionaries, it's better than nothing. So, who are the enemies that we can piece out? Denmark? Where the heck is Denmark anyway? Oh. That's not going to be a problem, I don't think. Then... Antemoro. That's in, yeah, Madagascar. So that's not something that we'll be interfering with, I don't think. And then Hadrama and Haza and what's Yas as well? No, Yas is, well, they're in the war, but they are not a vassal of Mamluks, whereas these two are. What are they sieging? Oh, they're de-sieging some of the areas there. Fair enough. So we've gotten the ticking war score already in the war, so things are looking quite good. I mean, we've got fairly large armies, they are fairly good quality, so we are kind of bound to win this, let's be honest, unless we do something really bad. I don't think we are going to be going that sort of route anyway. Not right now, hopefully. Oh, Portugal is the career controller, okay. Are they, actually, no, I don't think they can call a Crusade anymore. Can't spread institution, that's actually quite handy. The problem means that we'll be able to get the things spread out a lot faster. For example, it's spreading to Ankara now with 2.5 points per month. I mean, that's not too shabby. Still going to take a few years to spread there properly then, but it's a good start. Oh right, we scared these off. Let's just go ahead and go to Hafar, then we could maybe go and siege down Katif. We may need to bring in the fleet down there to actually get it all fully sieged down, but that's alright. Actually, I can stack wiped in there. We capture another 2 light ships here. Alright then. So we got a decent chunk of fleets there already captured. Yeah, the situation in our campaign here is actually going fairly well. We've got a massive income of cash right now. We are not far off from getting the government reform again. Excellent vintage. Ooh, -1 unrest. Very good. And it looks like the siege over here is proceeding as it should be. That's always good to see. There we go, we got Hafar, I suppose. You know what, we can just go ahead and siege down more of this area. We won't really get that area right now anyway in this war. Oh dear, our vassal is getting stack wiped there, and it's a bit too far away for me to interfere. We can probably still do quite a bit in here with just 1 army, although we got the 2nd army not... well, it's a bit far away actually. Let's go ahead and get the ships in here so we can do the naval barrage for free. That's going to speed up the siege quite nicely. Plus we get the essentially +4 from having the ships here for the siege. So yeah, it's a pretty decent increase on the progress there. Oh wow. Yeah, Denmark did win the war against Sweden. They took a lot of land from Sweden and, well, the decent chunk of Norway back. They also took Scotland. And they took the province that they had lost in Jylland back. So Sweden's not doing all that strong. Safe to say. There we go, that's another conversion done. Let's go ahead and start another one. So we need to have almost 5,000 ducats still to embrace the institution. It's a bit too much, I dare say. I think what we might want to do is just send this one... oh, that's an interesting route. I do admit. Alright, let's just go down here then. There we go. So we core most of this. We are going to convert a lot of this area. Actually, one of the things that I could do... that's still coring. This one's already fully cored. We could turn this into a new trade company. And we can't upgrade this during war, of course. This one's already converted as well, so we can turn that into trade company. That one's still converting. The problem is that once you add them into a trade company, then they won't be able to be converted anymore. Hence, I'm just waiting on that one. Before the... or after the conversions are done, then we can start working a bit more. You know what? I want you to seize down all of that. Now we can get the government reform. I believe... so now it's the... separation of powers. Clerical commission reduces unrest, gives another diplomatic relation, and avoid travel time -50%. That's kind of handy. Divine guidance gives max absolutism +15, which is also quite nice. That would get us to 89, I think, max right now. Constitutional theocracy, -10 years of separatism, that's also quite handy. Regionally elected commanders, so that disables nobility and cold, it basically enables the parliament stuff. Public elections would give essentially make us a republic in that sense. There's the militaries versus theocrats mechanics. I haven't actually ever tried that. Dynastic theocracy, so that is basically it turns us into a kingdom without being a kingdom. And then Lord of the Sea, so Admiral becomes a ruler when current ruler dies. But I think we're going to go with the Divine Guidance for the max absolutism, which means that our max absolutism now is indeed 89, which is going to give us decent bonuses. Okay, we're 85% on the Siege of Shahir. I'm hoping that that will be over soon. There we go. I do realize that we are actually out of time for this episode, so if you enjoyed this, please like or subscribe if you haven't already. Also, got links down below in the description, but other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.